everyone, it's Emma. So today I'm doing my November TBR. I'm so excited for some of the books that I'm going to read this month. If my voice sounds a little off, it's because I'm getting over being sick. I still can't talk very loud. You might not even notice, but if you notice, that's what it is. I have 5 books that I'm going to try and read this month, but since I haven't been sticking to my TBRs very well, I just decided to do kind of like a loose TBR. There are a couple books that I'm definitely going to read this month. This isn't like a really strict TBR, and it's not a lot of books. Figured I would pick a couple that I will get to and then pick up whatever else I want to read. The first book is one that I'm definitely going to read this month, and I've actually already started it, and it's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've been meaning to read this book for forever, and I finally picked it up. I'm like not even 100 pages in. Jane Eyre's classic, obviously. Everybody knows Charlotte Bronte, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. And I feel like I need to read a Bronte sister book. I felt like reading Jane Eyre because it's the fall and it's cold outside, and it just felt like the time. Plus, I got this beautiful copy that made me want to read it more. I will obviously be reading it this month because it's what I'm reading right now. The next book is another book that I am definitely going to read this month, and that's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I've been hearing so much about this book. It's everywhere right now. I've never read a Donna Tartt book. This was compared to something that I love, which is why I originally looked it up. But right now I can't remember what that was. I think maybe someone called it The Adult Raven Boys. That might be what it was. And whenever anyone mentions the Raven Boys and compares it to another book, I have to read that book. I'm going to read the back because it seems like a pretty good summary of what this book is about. It says, under the influence of their charismatic classic professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, their lives are changed profoundly and forever. These kids kind of get swept up into something, and it takes a dark turn. I'm really excited to read it. Everyone has been loving this book. I've seen it all over Instagram and just everywhere. And I got the UK edition because it's so much prettier than the US edition. So if you're wondering, I got this on Book Depository. But obviously I have to finish Jane Eyre first. And this is a kind of an undertaking book. It's like almost 600 pages long. It is 600 pages long. I feel like it's going to be a little dark, creepy. I just love the idea of them being like at college, having this professor like sweep them into this world. I don't know. Sounds awesome, and I can't wait. This next one is the last book that I will definitely be reading this month, and it's The Diviners by Libba Bray. This book is huge. I think it takes place in the 1920s or 1920s-ish era. This girl gets shipped off to New York to live with her uncle, who is involved in the occult in some way. I'm not really sure exactly. And there's like a mass murderer on the loose. It sounds really creepy and interesting, and I've been wanting to read it for a while, and for some reason I just decided this was the month to pick it up. This one is also really long, which is another reason that I don't have a ton of books on my TBR, because these are all big books. I'm definitely going to get to my reading goal for the year, so I've been not stressing so much about how many books I read each month. And also, Sam over at Thoughts on Tombs is doing a readathon at the end of the month with a bunch of other people. It's called Tomes Topples, and you basically just read really long books for like those 2 weeks, and so I was planning to read these books this month anyways, so hopefully I'm going to take place in that readathon. I will leave the announcement video linked down below in case you want to check that out. I don't know if I've ever read a YA book that takes place in the 1920s, and I definitely haven't read one with a mass murderer on the loose, and so this sounded super interesting to me, and I can't wait to read it. I have 2 more books on my TBR, but I'm not positive that I'm going to read these. At this point, I'm thinking I will because I have a feeling they're going to be quick, easy reads, and with these other books, I needed some books that I could like read in one sitting. The first one is Jacobi by William Ritter. I mostly got this for the cover and because it was like $4 on Book Outlet, because these covers are amazing. And again, I was seeing it all over Instagram. It sounded really interesting, and it is really short, like less than 300 pages. I needed a book like that this month because a lot of these other ones are really long. So I'm hoping to get to this one. This is another book where there is a serial killer on the loose. I didn't plan that. That just kind of happened this month. It's about this investigator, who I think his name is Jacobi, and a young woman who becomes his assistant. He has a knack for seeing the unexplainable, and she's good at seeing like the ordinary important details, so I think they kind of team up. Yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Hopefully it'll be a nice quick read. I already have a second book because it was also beautiful and I needed it. Maybe I'll read the second one too this month. We'll see. The next book on my TBR is another one that I think I'll read this month because it's an easy read, but I'm not positive, and that's A Shadow, Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess. I think I've talked about this book before. It just came out this fall. This young woman who is a sorcerer, and I think magic is illegal. Somehow her powers are outed, but instead of being killed like she expects, She's invited to train to be Her Majesty's Royal Enchantress. I've heard some really good things about this, and I've heard that it was a really quick read, like one of those books that's addictive, and I felt like I would need that this month. One of the things that really drew me to this book is that people say when you start it, it seems like there are all these tropes and it seems like it's cliche, but the author actually did it intentionally to take those tropes and twist them around into something really unexpected. And that sounds wonderful to me. I love it when authors do stuff like that. So I'm really excited to read this one. Hopefully I'll get to it this month. Those are all the books on my TBR. Hopefully I'll read more books than that this month. Since I haven't been sticking to my TBR, I didn't want to do a super formal TBR and then not read any of the books that I talked about. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are planning to read this month, and if you've read any of these books that I mentioned and what you thought of them. I would love to know. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm Miss Emma Reads a Lot on all my social media. I'll put it linked below, and I will see you guys soon with a new video.